The next one is going to be huge. We're going to be taking a look at a battle between brothers. We got GiveUA, also known as an Ace Final Hope, fighting off against his brother SoldieR.
Yeah, and I saw some GiveUA games yesterday against Magic, and I mean, if you have everyone who knows GiveUA knows that he is a feudally aggressive type of player, and he had some fun games to watch. He definitely had Magic on his heels, took a game off of him, and unfortunately was not able to get the whole series. But he is back in it today and has to go through his brother to get to a potential qualifying spot.
Yeah, exactly. And we already see the map draft here. Gonna be exciting one. We got Bridges as the first map. We're looking at English versus Jean d'Arc. That's not a matchup that we see too often. It feels like Jean probably can't take too many good fights against English like early on, just because at level 2, she can get sniped pretty easily by the longbows. Later on in the game, though, as Jean starts taking less and less damage from the ranged units, it could get different. Like, it could get a little bit difficult for the English. Maybe we see like a 2TC Jean play here potentially, or fast Castle Age. Should still definitely make some knights for Raz though.
Yeah, it feels so weird saying fast Castle Age coming from a French variant civ. It's like, well, you have feudal knights though. But I could definitely see the 2TC coming into play. I'm excited to see Bridges. It's a map that I have seen a few times here and there. Avely, I believe, is the maker of it. Another great map of his that he has made, and very, very cool with the concept over here.
Yeah, exactly. It's so unique, right? Like, you got these bridges that connect these little islands, and you can actually destroy these bridges with demolition ships, and you can rebuild them. And there's sacred sites on them. There's additional resource on the larger island. It's such a cool and unique map. I really, really like it. I haven't gotten too many opportunities at playing it so far, but having played it a couple of times, it is really, really cool.
Yep. So enough of that. Now we're into the battle of the brothers, and yeah, there are a lot of brothers in the tournament, but we have another battle here, and it will be SoldieR versus GiveUA.
Let's jump right into it. Just a little moment. English versus Jean d'Arc. That's not something that we see too often. And here we go. Game number 1 between the two. Spawning in the color teal. We got SoldieR, and teal, definitely my favorite color in the game, I gotta say. And on the other hand side, we got GiveUA as the English. And wait, what is going on here? 4 villagers onto gold immediately.
Well, he's purple. That's my favorite color in the game. So here we go over here. And you have 4 villagers onto gold immediately. I'm not really sure exactly what this is. If it were 5, I could see like a quick drop off and a quick wheelbarrow, but 4 just seems like it's like...
It is a quick wheelbarrow build because you need 4 villagers in gold in order to then follow up with a decent feudal age time.
Okay.
So with the next drop off, it should be wheelbarrow.
I know the 4. I used to send 4 on the gold when I would do the. I think it was the deer opening. No, actually, no. I still think it wasn't that many. But early wheelbarrow is indeed the play. GiveUA gonna send all the new vills over to the food. Meanwhile, SoldieR, he's got that typical split over on the side. The always key thing that I am inclined to watch when JD plays is how they age up to feudal age. Some, they like to send a few on it, get that quicker age up time, get the quicker knight out, and still, make sure your opponent has to react to the early feudal age knight. Others, they'll just do the slow, just JD builds the age up to try to, maximize her experience gain.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sheep scouting right now. I mean, GiveUA barely missed out on 2 sheep earlier, but still, right now, even after missing out on those first 2 sheep, he's finding a lot. Like, he's already up to 6 sheep right now. Can we take a look at SoldieR Scout that's moving by GiveUA space right now? He's got 3 sheep on him. I think he's about to find 2 more over here. With some slightly better, or rather luckier scouting from GiveUA, this could have been a really, really rough start for SoldieR.
Yeah, it's always nice to, find extra sheep, but it's always really nice to find extra sheep when you're playing against a civ that relies a little bit more on sheep compared to others. And French JD is definitely one that they like being able to stay under their town center, not having to move onto the berries, and then they'll eventually move out onto the deer, to get that faster food gathering and more efficient food gathering when need to and when they have that map control. But the more sheep, always the better.
Yeah, sometimes also moving out onto the boars really early on, as they do have Jean taking them down, hunting them on the map. That's also usually something that they can go for. Just having 5 villagers out there, you build an outpost, you build a mill, and then you can happily gather from those boars out on the map. But look at that, GiveUA finds a lot of sheep here. That's gonna be very, very nice here for him as the English. Definitely won't have to transition into farms too early in the game. And yeah, that's a good amount of sheep there on GiveUA. Meanwhile, SoldieR, 5 live sheep. That's going to be 4 now, and 3 sheep carcasses. Not looking too hot overall, but also not looking like an instant GG.
Yeah, and GiveUA did end up pulling a villager off of gold. He ended up having 3 on gold and still had a good amount of gold in the bank. Now he's pulled the rest off. I guess he wants enough for double broad axe, most likely right when he ages up would be my guess, as that is obviously, when you're the English, wheelbarrow and double broad axe together are like the most important combo, just because of how much wood you end up spending throughout and needing early on. Longbows, production buildings, farms, everything. It's the heart.
Yeah, I agree. School of Cavalry being built just by Jean, so should be reaching level 2 pretty much as soon as the School of Cavalry is finished. Means that the age up timing isn't coming in too quickly. Wheelbarrow also on the way now for SoldieR.
Yeah, so this is that much more maximized JD's XP type of build, which is probably where GiveUA knows this about his brother, I'm sure. And he's like, all right, cool. That allows me to get this more of an economic focus, that early wheelbarrow. I'll delay my own age up timing because I know I don't need to worry about that early night coming across and having, you know, some pressure.
Right, Lumber Camp is coming up, so should be seeing that double broad axe soon for GiveUA. Also not be surprised if we see it soon for SoldieR, as he does get the cheaper economy upgrades with Jeanne d'Arc. There he goes, repositioning it a little bit there. And now age up coming in, roughly 445 mark. Should immediately seeing a knight come out. There we go, knight comes out, Jeanne immediately levels up. And is going to be the melee Jeanne that we'll be seeing here. GiveUA scouts it immediately.
Yeah, I will say I've been seeing a little bit more of a variety come recently of the JD choice, whether it's ranged or melee, which surprises me, as there was a while where it was always melee every time, as ranged is essentially just worthless in comparison.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Range Jeanne has received a couple of buffs, so for one, now she's moving much, much quicker. And that just helps you a lot. Just having a quicker... It was so weird before, having the ranged version be really slow, and the melee version just having so much more when it comes to like the stats and everything. It really felt like the ranged Jeanne just was so much weaker. Also, the stat nerf in level 3 before the blacksmith upgrade, I feel like hit melee Jeanne more than ranged Jeanne, just because melee Jeanne is always, like, as the name implies, in melee. So having less stats on her definitely makes her a lot squishier and easier to take down. Couple of spears, couple of longbows, so that knight probably won't find too many targets to hit there on the gold mine. We already see archers and horsemen coming out from SoldieR. Not another knight, but should be coming in soon as he's starting to get more gold now as well. Might just be a tempo choice going for that early horseman there instead of another knight.
Yeah, obviously, you know, you do have that little bit of extra mobility in comparison to the knight, and just maybe just didn't quite have the gold, used it on double broad axe instead to pump up his own archer production.
Jeanne might immediately be going for the second boar. I'm not sure if SoldieR even scouted where the second boar is right now. Might just be scouting for it right about now. Yeah, he hasn't scouted.
So circling around that backside, has the scout is maybe hadn't played in a little bit since the update, as those wolves, you saw it pop up. It was not +12, it was +0.
Oh, knight tries to go for a little bit of a dive, has to fall back though, won't lose his life, but a little bit of health.
And a good proactive wall coming in by GiveUA. I always love these walls on the backside. It just allows the knights not to roam free. You're always going to actually, with this wall, if the knight wants to run around to the other side, it has to track all the way around the front wood line, or else you're going to have vision of it the whole time.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to let these knights like just run past your past your base. Sniping the sheep, -500 food. That definitely hurts. I feel like At some point in the game, you can just send the sheep back and just let them travel across like half the map.
But pulled the spears, pulled a couple of the longbows on over. GiveUA, quick reactions though, spotted JD, spotted that little bit of an archer mass and knows I cannot take that fight. I am not feeding JD any XP.
Scout though might be getting taken down now. There's a lot of horsemen behind them. Knight, pathing. Oh, horseman's gonna shimmy by. Is gonna get that crucial last hit, and now GiveUA, as the English, blind to where the aggression is gonna be coming from. That's gonna hurt. And in this situation, either you remake another scout, or you just like park a single longbow somewhere. Like get the paling scout from the longbowman, you just position him somewhere, just so you know where the direction from the aggression is coming up from. Because now Soldier is arriving at the front of the base, and he's got
look at Soldier's game plan. It's not only that, he brings villagers up. Look at both of the golds for GiveUA. They're right next to each other. There's no other gold that he can get on the map, which means he will be stuck with these upgrades for the rest until he can reclaim that gold. But oh no! Soldier not paying attention. JD getting a little too close. One more step up. JD goes down.
Oh, he needed to pop the HP buff there, the heal, but didn't come in time. 2 longbows go down for JD, but still, Soldier, he has to buy her back. Like, you need her. Because right now, what you're doing as Soldier is you're getting GiveUA into a position where at some point he will need to take a fight. And fighting is exactly what John wants. She wants that experience. She wants to get to level 3. So forcing GiveUA into a position where he needs to fight, definitely the right plan here.
And look at the difference in the food economy already, though. We got 500 food per minute compared to 280 for Soldier. And Soldier's the one making the higher food cost units. He's heavy onto the wood. And I feel like he needs to move out to the deer or move out to that bottom boar that he went for.
Yeah. It's not the biggest issue for him in theory, just because he also pays a lot less for his villagers, or rather for his units. But that's only when John is out and when she's actively like consecrating buildings, which right now she's not because she's dead.
Building another outpost, reinforcing this location. GiveUA parking the spears on the wood line. Soldier still just not able to get any damage done. But both players are massing up, and if your numbers are pretty even against English and you have knights on the field, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. But still, before any fight happens, you need John to be out there. Also something that's really nice right now for... gets a villager and heads out again. Sneaky. Lose one of the horsemen though, but that's fine for Villager at this point in time.
Yeah, and GiveUA thought he was able to move out because he started building those walls and was like, all right, I'll be good to go, and just took a step too early as walls were not yet complete.
Looks like Soldier isn't buying Jean back, so he's just waiting for her to come back out.
Siege engineer.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, like not having Jean out right now. Sure, there weren't any big fights yet. But if there were, then Soldier would be
2 minutes? It's
trouble.
a 2-minute countdown till she comes back?
Yeah, okay, she's back now. She's making her way over, but still, that could have been dicey. Consecration is off cooldown right now as well, so Soldier should definitely buff up one of his buildings. Double rams.
Soldier did move over to the boar now, so he is starting to boost up that food eco as we see it at 59 per minute right now.
Yeah, that one was definitely needed. Yeah, he's very low right now when it comes to the food income. Had a lot of wood per minute, but that's just for these rams. Doesn't have that many archers though. The next fight is gonna have to be critical.
I feel like this next fight isn't gonna go good for him. There's 27 longbows, 16 spears. The archers get all timed out before they're able to clean up the rest of the spears. I feel like
Soldier doesn't have pierce armor yet. He doesn't have the pierce armor upgrade. Look at that. With this many longbows, with the aura, you can take down rams. They're going down.
Archers are stepping up to try to take down some of these longbows, but as he gets close, as he gets into attack range, he spreads out into line and then cancels all their attacks, loses out 3, 4, 5 archers for nothing.
Rams are making their way back, but that was some heavy damage on those rams. Definitely not the kind of damage that you want to be taking. Look at that. Might actually lose that one ram. Yeah, it's going down. He should.
Yep, last volley takes the ram down. So Soldier builds 2 rams, loses 1, loses 5 archers, and has nothing to show for it.
Yeah, this is rough. Granted, GiveUA, unless he's able to push out, he'll never realistically be able to go to Castle Age. There is one way, which is you make a market, you sell food. That's not usually the way you want to go up to the next age.
I mean, if you're English, you get another set of farms behind this. 3 full sets of farms, you're going to be rolling in the dough as far as the food goes. You might as well just give some of it up for gold.
I could see it for Men at Arms, like get some Men at Arms out. But man, this is so rough right now for GA. Look at that. And not for GA, for SoldieR, I mean. He's got so many archers out. GA has more. He has better archers. When it comes to frontline, there's 6-7 knights for SoldieR, but there's 22 spearmen. Yeah,
the knights just feel like they're not going to be able to do anything. I feel like SoldieR at this point should just full focus into all archers, because archers trade well into the spears, and if the longbows actually take the fight, then great, but he's not going to be able to do so. Chop through is getting pretty close to happening though, actually, and he may have just alerted GiveUA of that existence and knows that needs to watch out for it in the near future.
Second ram has been taken down. SoldieR is still not really in a position right now to push in. Losing 400 resources worth of these rams definitely hurts him. Now reinforcements are coming out though. GiveUA doesn't have enough gold in order to get siege engineering, so he can't even make rams at the moment in order to take these outposts down. As long as the fight happens below these outposts, it shouldn't be too bad for SoldieR.
I mean, GiveUA is up at 70 military now. I feel like 2 Aeroslit outposts is worthless at this point. Looks like GiveUA is stepping up, wants to take that fight. JD.
SoldieR is the best fight you can get. This is the best fight you can get under the outpost, SoldieR. This is the best fight you're gonna get. Where is she, indeed? Oh,
he doesn't want to take this without JD.
Loses an outpost for it, though. Knights have to be careful.
JD's
JD arrives.
finally here, so can start to get some XP. But look at that one single volley. She's dead. 2 volleys.
Oh my god. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. And the second outpost, sure, it has the reinforcement on it, but there aren't any units inside of it. It's gonna get taken down. GiveUA reclaims control of the gold. Just not enough units here from SoldieR.
Yeah, and I really feel like this was when SoldieR was way heavy on the wood for those early rams instead of being on the food, instead of investing into more resources. The rams didn't do anything, didn't gain anything, when in reality, if he had more units to trade, he could give JD more XP. He could, you know, even though he forces the fight with the rams, it wasn't a fight he wanted to take.
And GiveUA, not even starting to gather up gold. He wants to go for the throat. He just saw SoldieR's weakness. Having a less strong army right now means that SoldieR, if he loses the next fight, GiveUA can just dive through the base.
Longbows are there ready and waiting. There are a significant amount of knights if SoldieR could thin that spear mass, but it's just, that's not a possibility, it seems like, as GiveUA is just going to make those knights stay chokeholded the whole entire time, not ever really able to step up and take the dive that they want to, because the spears are always in range. And look at the outpost coming up at the perfect time, extending the network of castles. Spears not letting the knights step up. SoldieR has to attack with the knights or else he loses the fight in the long run.
Spearmen are getting baited to the front side, though. A lot of them did go down here so far. Knights, they're just waiting for that mass of spearmen to thin out. GiveUA keeping them in the back, and the attack speed aura means that the longbows are just doing a lot of damage. Granted, this engagement here right now, it wasn't too bad for SoldieR at the end of it.
Yeah, he thinned out. It was kind of just basically even trades from beginning to end. Thinned out a few of the spears. Archer numbers still stayed somewhat even in comparison, but now it looks like GiveUA might be planning a Castle Age timing behind this.
SoldieR might be as well. He's got a little bit of food in the bank, just a smidge.
He fixed his food problems, so that's good.
Yeah.
But for the time being, he doesn't have a long-term food economy, though, comparative to GiveUA. So, like, the longer that GiveUA continues to let this keep going, SoldieR is on finite resources.
This needs to be a Castle Age Royal Bloodlines all-in from SoldieR. I don't think there's any other way for him to win this game other than just going up to Castle Age with the Royal Institute, getting that Bloodlines upgrade in, and just rampaging through the economy from GA. And now we see King's Palace coming in. Meanwhile, SoldieR making more knights. He's not getting any closer to Castle Age like this.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to maybe take the fight. He's starting to head back across the map. The numbers are a little bit closer to even, which is good because, again, value is heavily tilted towards SoldieR's side if he can actually attack with the Knights. It's just he hasn't been able to because, again, the spears over and over and over again.
It feels so bad, though, taking a fight when you have enough food to be able to go to the next age. And I don't like the fix here right now from SoldieR. His fix is, oh, I queue up 8 horsemen. Okay, you canceled them again.
Oh, and him knowing GiveUA falling back here, he has to know Castle Age is coming. It's like, all right, and there it is. New age begins. He feels like he's going to have to do something here, but the wall, everything, it's just going to perfectly deter it away. Longbow upgrade already in queue. Textiles came into queue as well. Might see a couple villagers go down. No vision.
Might also not. There we go, one villager.
No vision. And Guildhall on the way up. Here we go.
Oh no, I don't like the Guildhall here. Just Royal Institute all in it.
I'm with you. I'm a Royal Institute fan as well, but Guildhall's the choice from SoldieR. And maybe he just knows that this is going to be an extended game, and Guildhall is definitely the better play if it's an extended game.
Yeah, if it's an extended game. I'm not sure if SoldieR wants this to be an extended game right now. He was really unlucky so far already when it came to the gathering but when it came to the engagements that they had. And right now GA is on 2TC. He's not.
Yeah.
This needs to be an all-in. He's making more horsemen now.
I mean, again, the numbers are even. SoldieR has a massive military. I mean, you can see the value. He's got 7,000 value compared to 3,800. It's definitely tilted towards his side. The problem just is the way that the English units are very, very defensive in their nature. You have to all in their base, and all in English bases is not good.
Granted, right now though, GiveUA is moving out. I don't see any villagers to come. Never mind, there they are. 3, 4, 5 villagers, so he's got to get another outpost out. I was thinking that maybe if he goes out right now without the network of castles, this could turn into a better fight for SoldieR. Upgrades are coming in. We're seeing veterancy on both the Royal Knights as well as on the archers. And also +2 Pierce armor being focused right now as well. If he gets a good fight here, he just needs to be really careful with Jean, because Jean so far had a terrible time when it came to gathering experience.
Spears and longbows moving across right towards where the Guildhall, right towards where the monastery is. The villagers on the berries. The monk moves on away, takes the relic with him, trying to hide, but is not going to be enough. Those villagers will be losing their lives. SoldieR, though, he has a huge army, and this might actually be the fight he wants to close this game. He can flank the super
outside the range
global army. They have no network of castles bonus. I mean, this is exactly what he wants.
He's going for it slowly as well. He's first taking down the outpost, making sure that even if GiveUA comes back, he's not going to be able to like get in the aura. And now he can take his time and hunt down the army.
And here it is. It looks like the big clash is about to start happening. Spears on the backside. Longbows going to start sniping on out. But these are veteran Royal Knights. You got the horsemen that are going to be able to circle around. And this time, SoldieR says, I'll take the engagement. JD immediately gets focused. Longbow's just too good at sniping out, utilizing that range. But the spear number is thinning out. There are more cavalry units than spears at this point now.
Yeah, now this is the point in time. The spears are running forward. They're actually somewhat focusing the archers right now as well. GA's entire army is going to get cleaned up here.
This was a huge victory for SoldieR. This is the exact fight he needs. Knights circle around the backside. Only longbows left here on the front side during this fight. And SoldieR is going to finish this with 50+ units still.
Yeah, Knights are going to finish it up now. SoldieR, he's even got a mangonella out, so the next push is going to be crucial. GiveUA, he's got a lot of gold in the bank. Can he get enough resources and time in order to go for a Berkshire? I think he needs an emergence Berkshire in his base.
He's got a lot of gold. He needs to buy up the food then, which feels weird saying that was the exact reverse as what English was. He's on the King's Palace. It is not the White Tower either. And GiveUA it might be in some trouble from his brother over here. Soldiers headed towards his base, headed towards the King's Palace. Outpost will not be doing enough. Villagers are starting to go down. Another outpost coming up, and the knights are arriving. Spears, though, they once again step up towards the archers, and you do not want to be doing that.
This is gonna hurt so badly now. The Mangonel out as well. GiveUA doesn't have the wood for his own siege workshop. I feel like the emergency Berkshire was his only potential chance there.
Is there a back wood line? He's already like chopped through the whole back wood line, right?
It's not much remaining.
Oh no!
It is not much
it's
remaining.
chopped through if Soldier wants to send knights there, but it's so hard for GiveUA to get any wood now, and wood again, the heart of GiveUA's economy. He needs it so bad as the English King's Palace starting to get focused in on. The outposts are getting focused down. And
2 TC up for like the last 8 minutes. Now we're at an even eco count.
Yep. And Soldier, again, the numbers on his side mean so much more as the value is so tilted with all of the knights, with the cavalry units on the field, Mangonel as well. I'm not sure if that's rebuilt, if it's actually starting to produce himself some resources yet.
It's not. No. It's not. Else we would be able to like from the POV be able to switch resources.
All right. Well, GiveUA is just waiting though. I like this. Just give up the King's Palace. Let a little bit of damage go down, because if you take another fight now with your smaller unit mass, you're just going to continue to make this worse and worse for yourself.
Yeah, he did manage to get his own siege workshop up, so we are seeing some archers. At the same time, Dawn. At some point, she was actually alive long enough during a fight in order to reach level 3. So we got some of Jean's champions alive now as well. Jean, though, is going to make this a lot more difficult at level 3 now, because now she takes very, very little damage from these units.
It's no longer going to be 2 quick volleys of the longbows. Speaking of, there's only 12 longbows left. It's going to be a ton of units that will need to take her down. And this is really where I felt like GiveUA had this game in his hands, but just stepped a little too far, a little too early, and bit off a little more than he could chew. King's Palace goes down, one of the 3 landmarks down for both players, but more importantly, GiveUA's eco is starting to get harassed further and further. He's running out of space. He's running out of resources.
Quick wall now, coming out, walling in the left-hand side. Second Mangonel is out now for GiveUA. Is it gonna be enough though? Another outpost goes up, wants to extend the range of the network of castles, needs to have it available to him for this next fight. Also Spearmen and some men-at-arms as well, so definitely has a much more tanky front line this time around.
Yeah, that just allows Soldier to make that ARB swap, which he has already made. He's got 11 stacked on up and just going to continue that numbers climbing, making his own farm transition behind this as well, which I felt like was going to be his big fallback point, his big kind of reckoning point for GiveUA was going to be when Soldier ran out of that food and had to make that farm transition, but he's able to make that fine with how successful those military trades were.
It looks like GiveUA is starting to stabilize though. 2 Mangonels, army count almost equal. Not the army value, mind you, but he does have that network of castles with him. That also affects the Mangonel. So Mangonel shooting a bit quicker can also make difference. A huge farming economy set up now in the back as well.
I mean, 5 full, I think if you include the front one, yeah, 6 full sets of farms technically. I'm pretty sure if he lets all these villagers continue to work for a minute, it's going to be like 2,500 food per minute. 46 farms.
I really want GiveUA to just reach Imperial Age soon. Like, get that emergency Berkey out in the front at the front line, and then you're fine. Then you're gonna be fine for like the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that's usually where we will see on the other side that Soldier or JD, when you build the guild hall, you will just click on up and hit an immediate red palace, but he doesn't have that guild hall finish. Mangonel's falling on back, not taking any shots. Soldier's starting to bleed out some units, even though he's got heavily numbers favoring his side. Just might not all be here. Mangonel's getting left out to dry. The Knights weren't here, but he is going for a wraparound, it looks like, with another group of units.
The archers are coming from it. Yeah, but that's archers.
That's archers! Oh no!
Archers.
I thought that was Knights! I thought it was Knights!
Oh no! Oh no!
What was he doing?
Nothing good. Some archers that just went down.
Well, just like
my
GiveUA
God.
threw away his army, SoldieR wanted to be nice to his brother and throw his army right back. He's like, I got you, bro.
It's
You
only
don't you
fair.
worry.
It's only fair. And there goes the army. SoldieR, he's making more Sprinkles now. One more Sprinkles, he'll be able to one-shot these mangonels. He's
The
moving
guild
back
hall
to
never
the...
got repaired. I think GiveUA is like,
Yeah.
I don't want the guild hall going up. I don't want that thing continuing to give free resources over the course of time, but he doesn't have to worry about that. Starting to step on forward. Knights are diving into spears. SoldieR a little bit late to react over there. Is distracted on other points of the map, but JD finally stepping up, getting some cleaves in, and doesn't immediately get one shot pop. It's only going to take 3 or 4 more.
Oh, Sprinkles not firing onto the mangonels. The crossbows aren't active. The artillery are finally moving in, but that is after the majority of the cavalry has been taken down, and now Jean, she's going to lose her life as well to the mass of crossbows.
Oh, and that's just such a bad fight looking back on how it went. I mean, if the ARBs had been fighting from the start, it would have looked completely different, as it's still looking somewhat even. Springle takes out one of the mangonels. Other mangonel has it getting taken. Well, villagers there repairing it though, so Springle, it takes quite a few shots now and out healed with the villager repair.
Oh, one more shot. Nope. GiveUA pays attention. Back to full health. Sprinkle has to retreat now. SoldieR massing horsemen right now. I don't know. I feel like GiveUA right now, he's in a position to just keep on pumping more and more military. SoldieR, he's running out of gas.
Half of SoldieR's military mass is over attacking walls that are archers, so don't really count the numbers at the top as the full story. He's also got a lot of his eco spread throughout on the south side, on the west or southwest side, I guess I should say, and is about to start getting victimized.
Yeah, and GiveUA, he's spending all of his resources. 20 men-at-arms in queue right now. He needs to think about Castle Age at some point. I feel like he needs to either move out on the map or get like enclosures for Golden Come. Oh, John.
JD again. Oh, this has just been the worst managed game of JD, I feel. Oh, she's still alive.
Oh.
I jinxed it. All right, never mind.
Oh my God, clips. Unexpected, but welcome for a change. Having JD actually survive a volley or two. Oh, this time the Mangonel though gets taken down. Still takes a couple of good shots there.
SoldieR though sitting at 15 military population is still, you know, trying to catch the eco of his brother over there, but looks like the gold into the west got spotted out potentially. Main base is still getting sieged upon too. Villagers fighting.
On villagers, yeah. That's what this evolved into now. Oh my God, and John finally gets taken down again. And SoldieR, 2 mangonels, but now it's 35 men-at-arms out on the field. And these mangonels, sure, they can survive a beating from arrows, so much from the swords.
The teal villagers of SoldieR slowly getting taken out, as there are just a few longbows there to help support the short bows while they run around and distract. Farms that were built front and forward, relics gonna start being denied, and SoldieR, it looked like he had a potential opportunity for a bit there, but all ended up turning around so fast.
And there we go. First game finishes 1-0 for GiveUA in this Battle of Brothers, in our little best of 3 over here. SoldieR, 1 point behind now on the scoreboard. Can he make a comeback now with his brother being on match point?
I mean, look at that dive at Castle Age, and then I felt like SoldieR, after that big push, he had like 50, 60 military units, and GiveUA didn't have anything, but then he just let GiveUA breathe. It's almost like you get lulled into like thinking the English is this base that you can never, ever dive, and it's like you don't want to do it early with only a few units, but when you're Castle Age and you have 60 units, you actually needed to pressure advantage there, I felt like, and actually kind of close out that game a little bit further.
I'm seeing throwing contests being thrown around in chat, and I mean, that's usually what GiveUA's games sometimes look like, so it makes sense that in a game, in a set against his brothers, we have a little bit of a contest when it comes to that. Granted, we are the observers, we are all knowing in these games, so it's always difficult when you're the player and like an observer is like, oh, you should do this and that, but yeah, in-game, it's not always that clear.
Yep,
Next up, though, Coastal Cliffs, Ayubits versus Abbasid.
Yeah, and this map we talked a little bit about earlier on. Obviously, the main thing being your stone is further away. The water is not actually water you can gather from. So that makes the ABBA pick kind of immediately become a question mark a little bit, as they're usually a civ that is all about that second TC expansion. In the meanwhile, Ayubids, even though they're that variant, it does not surprise me because they're a little bit more about some aggression, potentially fast castle, or even I've seen them play feudal a little bit more.
Yeah, feudal HRU bits definitely doesn't feel too bad. I'm wondering what exactly the plan is going to be here because Abbasid get on paper for the first 4 or 5 minutes, I would say, the stronger military wing. Actually, even throughout the game, having boot camp like on your units, the military wing from Abbasid just feels stronger when you think about like getting the Desert Raiders. Meanwhile, Abbasid they get like immediately archers and spearmen so they can deal with the Desert Raiders. I think SoldieR potentially could just go military wing into 2TC, even though the stone is further away on this map. And there isn't really anything that GUA can do in Castle Age. Like, if he goes for fast Castle Age, that could really disrupt Abbasid. Because if he goes for something like Mass Golems, that's not going to do anything against Mass Camel Archers in Feudal Age. Like, there's always a unit that the Abbasid have that is going to be an answer to what GUA can make in Castle Age outside of Siege.
Yeah, I mean I will say the Camel Archers are quite an expensive unit still, but once you start getting a few of them, it's similar. I kind of relate them over to like the Onimusha, where like if you utilize their mobility correctly, when you're playing up against them, you're like, this unit's OP. Like, I don't know what to do against this. It's so strong once you start getting a good bit of them. And so yeah, it does feel like, now that you explain the matchup a little bit more, Abba does have a lot of tools in the toolbox to react to what Ayubids can do. But we all know that the new variant civs are the ones that everyone loves. They're supposed to be the favored ones, right?
Yeah, I mean, new is always better. That's what we learned from How I Met Your Mother. So uh, definitely gotta be rooting here for the Ayubids in this one. If you're like just looking at this based on civilizations, but Abba is still a strong civ. Like, never underestimate Abbasid. Sometimes like they feel weak just because their timings always hit differently. But once you learn the timings, like with the age up delay that's natural to them, they can start becoming really, really strong.
Yeah, exactly. But now we are finally in it. We're going to see game number 2 of the brother matchup after an exciting game number 1. It's Coastal Cliffs, it's GUA as Ayubids, and it is SoldieR as the Abbasid Dynasty.
Indeed, here we go. Coastal Cliffs. I mean, we're gonna see it straight away. Look at that. There is that cliff. Beautiful, beautiful cliff. Even reaching a little bit further into the map here. Little pokey stick from the cliff going into the map. Both players just now looking for the sheep early on. Now, the sheep, not too important in this matchup because both these civilizations are berry civilizations. They're going to be perfectly fine for the first 5-6 minutes, just gathering from the berries, and at the end of the day, they'll return over to their sheep on the TC. Actually, looking at SoldieR is not starting up with the berries here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one where it's, I guess, pick your poison. You can choose berries, you can choose the sheep. I always do feel like the berries is just the way to go. You have that extra gathering bonus. It's not like you're the Ayubids and you're like trying to go with the eco wing and not deplete any of those berry bushes. Even if you are, you can micro it around to where you're not taking all of each bush yet. So kind of is surprising, but maybe it's just it's comfort. It's what he's been doing, and so if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering, like, every time I see it, I know Puppy Paw did this. I'm not sure if he's still doing that, but I know Puppy Paw did this a lot, where he also only went for the berries like relatively late into it. He never really started with the berries as the Abbasid. And I find that weird because I'm looking at it right now. SoldieR has 50 wood left in the bank. It's not like he's saving for anything right now. I feel like you could just invest it into the mill and like get better food income. And if anything happens, you're on TC gathering sheep.
I am with you there, but To each his own, and GiveUA and SoldieR both about to be clicking up very similar timings, even though one went berries, one went with the sheep. So we will see. We got military wing just as expected. GiveUA has clicked his as well, and it is military wing just as expected. So this is one where Abba's has the perfect kind of counteraction to a Uvid's. The two spears, the two archers will deter that first initial Desert Raider from doing anything, really.
Yeah. I mean, the Desert Raider has the mobility advantage in the end still. And with the mobility advantage, like, SoldieR could get caught out on different angles, right? If he ever goes to like a resource outside, then GA could immediately like know about it, deny it with that early Desert Raider. It's difficult though. I'm wondering what exactly SoldieR's game plan is going to be. I could totally see him just going for that 2TC military wing kind of build. If he want to go for like straight up fast castle, I would have personally preferred him to just go for culture wing immediately. Just because with culture wing you get more out of it long term throughout feudal age. Like not just is your castle age up cheaper, but also all the upgrades that you're getting in feudal age are also going to be much cheaper. So, for example, if you go for wheelbarrow, if you go for double broadaxe, even if you do end up going for military, it feels better because as soon as you age up, as soon as you're in castle age, you're also going to be paying less for the military upgrades.
Makes perfect sense. SoldieR does end up dropping that mill finally. He has wheelbarrow on the way as well. So it was just a little bit of a delayed moving out there, but he actually didn't move out there with the sheep villagers either. He just built the mill to end up starting wheelbarrow.
Yeah, it looks like it was literally just 4 wheelbarrow there. Age up comes in, 4 military units make their way out immediately. It looks like he's actually immediately moving over to GiveUA's base. Now this makes sense. If you want to, for example, delay a fast castle age, which it looks like GiveUA isn't going to, you immediately want to go over to the gold villagers.
And there's the age up, the reinforcement wing, and the camel lancer moving out and about, which SoldieR has perfectly been tracking ever since it started moving. And so let's see if he's going to try to like kind of catch this with his units and get as much damage as possible here. Scout.
He's killing the sheep.
Oh, what a mean guy.
Oh, he only hit 1 sheep once. Okay, no sheep went down. And now a little bit of a dance happening here. SoldieR already has added another archery range in on his side, and he's setting archers. What's the build going to be from GiveUA? Can we take a look at the space, see if there's any production buildings coming in? It is going to be stable. So we are going to be seeing horsemen. There are 2 spearmen out already. This is going to be a difficult timing to make any use of the horsemen. This feels more like a potential raiding approach from GiveUA. I'm wondering, though, if you can really make this work.
Yeah, the little military wing units chilling out in the middle of the map. The archers are starting to kind of start to stream across, so maybe it's going to be also the play that you do against English, which is just continually hit out the reinforcing archers, get a pick or 2 here or there, and then all of a sudden your opponent's main army that he'd been trying to reinforce is left out to dry without reinforcements, and you have a bigger mass to be able to collapse upon it.
Yeah, okay, Archer's now also coming in from GiveUA, so it's going to have a complete army composition. Desert Raider almost losing his life. Now very, very low on HP. Has to be careful there.
And GiveUA has dropped a range himself as well, so it is going to be a horseman archer composition to try to counteract the spear archer play.
SoldieR already moving out on the map right now to the next berry bush. Has to be really, really careful. A single Desert Raider there could make his life hell if he doesn't get an outpost down there with it.
I love the greed too. He hasn't even grabbed his own berries like at home. He's like, I'm gonna take the riskier ones now. He's like, I'm the one being aggressive. I can do this because you're not gonna be, you know, having the ability to actually move out to try to raid me because you got to deal with the stuff I'm sending over to you.
I like this little mind game as well. Because he hasn't fully gathered yet from his own berry bush inside his base, that one is still visible to your enemy through Fog of War on the minimap. So GA would have no reason to assume that his brother is going for another berry bush when the one in his base still hasn't been depleted. A little ball pull here. Oh, there we go. Okay, is moving it back. For a second, that scout turned traitor.
massive wall being invested into by SoldieR, but just send him one villager. He's like, I'm not in a rush to do this, but just you'll get finished eventually over there.
Are we also
Outpost
seeing
as
more
well.
spearmen? Yeah, outpost, spearmen, and horsemen as well now from SoldieR. Both players just making a lot of military right now in feudal age.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see GiveUA even drop a barracks as well, as he is known for his 1-1-1 compositions. But at least he always has those Desert Raiders popping out to be another unit to change things up, and that will also activate the camel debuff for any of the horsemen that are there from SoldieR.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Like SoldieR has to start gathering gold again soon for blacksmith upgrades, and most importantly, I feel like based on how infantry heavy his army composition is, bootcamp would make a huge difference in this game. Just having this much infantry out, having plus 15% HP on all of these units, means they take a lot more shots. Like archers, I believe, like they can survive 2 more shots from enemy archers with bootcamp. Makes a massive, massive difference there.
Yes, it does, and it looks like SoldieR is moving out and about with the archers as the horsemen and the Desert Raiders are trying to circle around for a raid.
Oh, they might. Oh my god, just as the mill gets placed. This could be dangerous timing. Where are the villagers coming from?
I'm so confused. Why is he going for that mill again? Oh, okay, they're going to wall first.
SoldieR, he's clueless right now when it comes to the army positioning. This is going to catch him completely off guard.
This actually might wall the horsemen in, though.
Oh, is he going to see them next to the blacksmith? Oh, GiveUA is going to expose the horsemen. SoldieR? Is he going to react? He reacts.
He does
okay,
end up reacting.
He's going to lose
even
one
the villager building the blacksmith doesn't. Oh,
he survives.
No losses at all. Can easily build a gate over on the southern wall and get out. And the horsemen have nowhere to go. They're walled in.
Yeah. No way out now. Oh, this is gonna hurt for GiveUA. He's gonna lose them all. He's gonna lose them all. No way out for his military now. He overstepped and now he's gonna pay the price for it.
I mean,
this is just a wall segment in time.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy. I don't think did he realize that he's walled in?
Oh, but the reinforcements might find the villagers. SoldieR is pulling back in time. Mill is getting denied. Yeah, and the villagers should make it out alive with the wheelbarrow.
They are starting to burn the gate. Army from SoldieR is on the way. Horsemen, spears, camel, archer, and GiveUA realizes he's like, I'm not going to be able to burn this in time. I got to go. But there's nowhere to go. He is walled in.
And he has to run. SoldieR's army hot on the heels. And take a break. Take a nap. You know, have
Full
a
steam
break.
ahead and stop.
Oh, maybe another cutoff here. Oh, this timing could be beautiful. Is it a move? There's no attack move. There's no attack move. No attack move.
He's at least able to get a few of the horsemen. A couple of the reinforcement ones, reinforcing units are able to pick out a few more, but his front gold is being denied. 5 villagers inside, starting to rebuild the outpost, jump back inside to just delay this as long as possible. Needs to get his army back to the front side of his base.
GiveUA still has more army value overall. Is he going to be able to kill some villagers here? Might potentially be able to do so. Archers.
Looked away for a second. Just kills one, and outpost stays up. So pretty solid, solid win there for SoldieR. Yeah, he lost one villager, but all things considered, I felt like a lot more would have gone down.
And both players, this is an all-in feudal age game in Abbasid versus Ayyubids. This feels so weird right now. Because in theory, like, right, long term, SoldieR should win this with the Abbasid in feudal age, because at some point, like, bootcamp is going to come in. GiveUA, what does he even get? Like,
don't you have better gathering rate from House of Wisdom too?
Slightly, like you get plus 10% from House of Wisdom as Ayyubids. Meanwhile, Abbasid, they get plus 15% now with Golden Age 2. I think it's still plus 15. Yeah, Golden Age 2 is still plus 15. But still, 5% ahead and with better military as well.
Exactly. But Soldier, he is starting to posture towards the side of GiveUA. GiveUA's trying to defend this, trying to drop some of his own walls. Numbers fairly even for the most part. Did we look at boot camp and has been upgraded already? I would assume so.
I actually don't think boot camp has been upgraded for Soldier. Let's actually take a look. Oh, it has been. It has been. Okay. Because he was off gold for a very long time, I didn't see him. He might have just missed it. Oh,
Picks
Horseman.
Okay, picks off an archer, maybe two, but needs to fall back away as just taking a little bit of damage from the TC fire. But oh no, that's gonna be the big raid. One villager down,
yeah.
2 villagers down, 2 villagers. 2
villagers, yeah. Didn't choose to step up further, and I mean he is doing some damage, right? And he is distracting. He's causing idle time. Wall off on the left side is getting completed. GA actually has a really nice tier spawn there that he's getting in with the walls. Meanwhile, Soldier, all of his food is going to be in front of the walls from now on.
Yeah, does have another. I think he finally went to his home berry patch, and some forward production though from GiveUA. I'm just wondering when is going to be the time that they decide to either all in or halt production for just a bit and go on up. GiveUA realizes that pressure's coming. He invests into textiles, the upgrade that I always forget.
I'm calling one thing out right now. GiveUA has horsemen as part of his main army composition. I hate that. Horsemen in an army in feudal age aren't good. They're not good at all.
Yeah, it's just where Soldier can just chill with his spears on his archers, and the horseman cannot engage that. Meanwhile, the horseman for Soldier can just dive onto the archer backline. Forward range got taken out as well, or at least it's on fire, so that's always a feels good, a good bit of idle time, and that deer spawn you were just talking about that got walled out gets denied, at least for now.
Yeah, and Soldier, he's just hitting all the walls, and behind that, he's actually going up to Castle Age.
He's getting wrapped around the horseman getting cut off. Perfect cutoff, and just like GiveUA got his army cleared, Soldier going to get his horseman and camel archer cleared on up right as he clicks up to castle though.
My copium is setting in here, and I'm just saying, it's just horsemen. Nobody cares. They're not useful in fights anyways. Soldier, though, he's spending a little bit, I think, too much time forward right now. And might have find himself at... Never mind. GA, his army, it's too far away. He's not going to catch up in time. Wait, what? Am I watching a Valdemar game right now?
Did he forget that he walled? He's like, I got a wall. But Castle Age is on the way up, and he is pulling back the army as he clicks up. So this is a mistake I see way too many people make, is not pulling back when they're aging up, and instead like, oh, I got a huge army, let's all in as they're clicking up. And it's like, well, you could have just gotten upgrades and then all in. Just wait for that timing, wait for that push, and that's exactly what Soldier's going to plan to do.
Balls of Empire Schizophrenia edition is what I'm seeing there. But yeah, Culture Wing is about to come in, and I hope Soldier has more than just one barracks prep, because he's going to be in a situation where he's going to need a lot of Ghulams, and Ghulams with boot camp, man, are they tanky. Man, are they tanky. It's going to be so tough for GA to clean that up. And look at the outpost there. Not one, not two, but 3 outposts there to make sure that he can put all of his villagers inside of towers.
Yeah, and the good thing for Soldier is he's already prepped another gold. So if he gets denied off of this middle gold, he'll be fine. Even though, good thing for Abba is all their villagers are working as this age ups happen. So he can essentially just full mass like Ghulams out of 6 barracks if he had them.
Wait a second. I saw Soldier in chat saying he crashed. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is such a good game for Soldier now. And he crashes.
No, this is such a good game. And I'm sure we'll see the point where units stop moving and we're like, oh, why is he not microing anymore? And it's not because he forgot to A move, it's just because he crashed.
That hurts. It really does hurt. Having crashes happen like that. And sadly, at the stage of the game, we're still not at the point where we get resource in order to like just jump back into the game from like a minute before the crash occurs or anything like that. Damn. So this game is still very much open because look at that, GUA is also aging up right now. And yeah, at this point, it's way too early to call like an admin win. So I feel like this probably is gonna have to be a re-then. We should be seeing when the crash happens here relatively soon. As soon as one player like obviously stops microing. I think this might have been it, right? Like SoldieR is just moving back even though he has the... no, he's still in it. Looks like he's still in it.
Well, they could have gotten pulled from the attack, but we'll see.
Huh?
No, he still pulls Bills back.
Yeah,
so
both players are still playing, yeah. We're still in it to win it. Wait, did he just throw us off? Did he just say crash and not to throw us off here or what? Nah, surely not.
Oh, he's just the biggest troll of all time.
Rewall is happening now as well. Oh, is it the one where once you reach Castle Age, suddenly like your game crashes? Like as soon as GiveUA reaches Castle Age, he's gonna crash?
That's my guess, or it's the hovering the unit card one.
Oh man, there's truly some terrible things that cause crashes there.
Yeah, and this fight that's going to go on in the middle, if this is taken, I mean, GiveUA is still not castled. There's a good amount of Ghulams out, so SoldieR is taking a pretty decent fight here. GiveUA's circling around, though. He's not wanting to take the fight. He wants to do some raiding with the horsemen, but SoldieR quick walls on up.
Yeah, I mean, also main thing that you gotta keep in mind is that IU bits, Golden Age 2, 50% faster research speed, so as soon as he gets up to the next age, the attack ups are going to be coming in really, really quick. So it's going to be immediately like able to get the tech ups in. Should only take like 40 seconds. If he's able to survive for that long, he will be able to like come back. And now the horseman right there, and that is something that you have to react to. I think you got to pull all the villagers either through reroll or repair that wall segment.
Double wall, triple wall.
Yeah, and it is going to be the walls.
Yeah.
He has enough stone as well. He could just stonewall it. Is he stonewall? No, it's just no palisade wall. I would just stonewall that right now. He's Castle Age. Like screw making second DC.
On around.
Yeah, it actually hurts a lot. Like losing that many villagers and soldiers actually pulling back.
In the middle? Are there villagers on the middle for GiveUA on the food?
It looks like it's villagers. Yeah. They're all out there on the food.
That'd be prime for the taking, but good little raid by GiveUA on those villagers that got stuck in between the trying to re-wall.
I think this might be whistle. No, players are still playing. They're both playing.
They're both playing.
When's the crash?
I bet you it's the hovering unit card by accident.
Yeah. Ah, this feels pretty bad though. Like 20 minutes into the game. Still can't tell. Still can't tell. Should be happening soon though.
SoldieR said crash it's like now.
Hey, crash it's like now? Okay. Damn. That hurts as well since there are mangonels out right now, so the army most likely is just gonna flop right now. But GiveUA is actually in a really good position right now. 57 to 72 villagers. You got the economic win growth. So immediately got like +8 villagers. Killed a whole bunch from SoldieR before as well. Yeah, I think GiveUA actually just came back in this game. But yeah, now the crash is happening, right? We see SoldieR's economy just going up through the roof. Yeah, and no units in queue. Yeah, so unfortunately, likely this game crashed at this point. We don't know exactly what caused the crash. There are a couple of things in the game which can cause crashes, unfortunately. The game overall isn't too well optimized when it comes to like memory leaks and stuff like that. Fortunately, sometimes these crashes can occur, but we don't have the tools to like get back into a game, like being able to remake a game at the point where it crashed or anything like that. Hopefully that comes at some point in time. Like something that would be really cool is being able to remake a game from replay. Yeah.
And the fortunate thing for the crash too is, yes, this is tournament play, so you know it's high importance on the line, but them being brothers, I'm sure they'll be a little bit friendlier about it, and they'll probably just both agree on a rematch and not go and headbutt each other trying to think that getting an unfair win or something of the sort.
Yeah. All right, so it is going to be a rematch now, so we're going to be seeing a second iteration of this one. Maybe they'll play it a little bit differently in this one.
Hey, I'm all game for feudal. Hey, this is it was a
I don't
little
know. Like
shock.
if we see the same feudal approach from both players again, um,
Yep, they are remaking the lobby. It is going to be a remake, so we will see Coastal Cliffs, a Uvids versus a Bassett, and the good old US brother matchup.
another one.
Yeah, there are quite a few brothers at the pro scene, the high elo scene. You got the Lucifron Vortex, you got Puppy Paw Wham, you got GUA Soldier, and I'm sure there's some other ones I'm missing out there.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now, who else is there? At least like in the top 30, there aren't any more brothers, as far as I'm aware.
That we know of. Maybe
That
there's
we
some secret
know of,
ones out
exactly.
there.
Avely Lash, are they hiding something? You don't know. You don't know.
Zero said crackety core. Oh no. You see that
Crackety core?
facial reaction? Core
Brothers from
Beastie.
another mother. Core and Beastie, man. I mean,
Oh.
can you not see it? Like Core and I, we got like the same hairstyle, right? And the similarities are all there.
Yep. But
Free
nope,
hair versus older hair.
got the timer on up here, so not too much of a delay here. We won't have to wait too long. We'll be right back on and into the action.
Core his hair. Yeah, we counted before. 3 hair. I think that was the name of one of his old accounts for a while. 3 hair. All right, yeah. Starting off with a slow delay, so we're able to jump right back into the game. It's not going to be too much longer until we see a second iteration. RU Bits versus the Abbasid. It's going to be interesting to see if maybe they switch it up a little bit now, because I think SoldieR could definitely play this one greedier as the Abbasid. I think a second TC is definitely on the menu. Like if he wants to go for it, just scale the economy better.
Yeah, whenever remakes happen, you can really play mind games with your opponent, whether it's like dropping military buildings and canceling them when you see their scout coming on around, or whether it's just going for a straight up different build, different game plan, and just your opponent's probably going to assume you're doing the same.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Shouldn't be too much longer. And there we go. Jumping once again into our game number 2 between GiveUA and SoldieR here on Coastal Cliffs. We switched it around a little bit now. Earlier we had the water go from north to east. Now we got it from south to east.
Yeah, you gotta always have a little bit of some change up, a little bit of some excitement coming into play. SoldieR yet again going on to the sheep start, GUA going on the berry start, and we'll see how the sheep gathering goes, as it was nothing too out of the ordinary last game. Both of these civs are berry enjoyers. One thing we saw last game though with SoldieR, where he kind of almost did mind game a little bit last game, was his berry gathering. He didn't really gather his own original safe berries. He went for the more vulnerable ones earlier on, which probably helped him in kind of that mid game for a bit as far as the food income went.
Yeah, maybe like not going for those berries immediately. I think like in the end, there's not a huge difference between going for sheep early or going for berries early. Still though, in my mind, just knowing that berries gather faster, I'm like, berries good, sheep bad, go berries. But I guess it's also just personal preference at some point, right? Because there's always like a little bit of more walking time involved, go for berries. So in the end, I guess it probably evens itself out more early on than later. So later, when you have like much more villagers, you're able to gather quicker from the berries overall. Might make more sense to go for it later.
Yeah, well, and
It's tough to
he
say.
saved his original berries for such a long period of time was the key too. He went out to other berries earlier to where it was like, yeah, like with horseman mass that's going to be hitting his base. If that was onto his TC berries, they're not really going to be ever, pressuring that location too much later on. But earlier in the game, they could be potentially, but that's where SoldieR went out for some different ones. There's the east side berries behind the wood line that he might go for if he still goes for that, but who really knows, as these players can change up a lot when it comes to the same mirror matchup as before. Well, not mirror matchup, but mirror game as before.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much as close to a mirror as we can get in the League Classic 2. considering there aren't any direct mirrors. But like having the two variant civs facing off against each other is pretty close. But no, it is going to be another military wing here from SoldieR. I'm interested to see if it is going to be another military wing from GA as well. I think this is probably the time, if you want to change it up, to go for another wing. It is another wing. We see the economic wing this time around from GA.
Okay.
It is going to be economic wing growth. Okay.
So he's the one changing it on up. SoldieR is circling on around, so he will be able to see that House of Wisdom wing location, see which wing it is, and know how to react. But I'm not sure if he just circled around for the sheep or if he just circled around for vision.
I'm looking at this right now, and I feel Marine Lord just staring at the one berry patch that has already been exhausted and being like, what are you doing? You're going economy wing. Oh no, the second one. What are you doing? That is Marine Lord right now if he was watching this one. He's missing. He's gonna lose 100 food for that. Now that isn't gigantic, but it still hurts. It still hurts.
And he has 5 vills on that other berry bush, so he is heavy onto that one, and it's not too hard to just spread out to a couple different ones. He's got another, what is that, 45 seconds or so before the wing will finish. I think the wing's going to finish before he depletes that last bush, though.
They're quick on it. They're trying, but yeah, the wing only. Yeah, it should finish before, right?
Ooh.
Should totally. It's close.
Yeah.
It's getting really close.
It's getting really close. Even still, not the worst in the world. It could be 150 food, 100 food, not the biggest deal, but it's just when you talk about high-level play, it's all these slight little efficiencies that really get the leg up. It's not one giant thing that a player does that's like, oh my gosh, he is so good at, his build orders, and that's why he's a Conk 3+. It's like, no. You have to do 100,000 little things well. And so that's where you just try to maximize all the little things to make yourself better.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you never know. Maybe later on he's getting cut off food and he needs exactly 150 more food in order to be fine, but didn't have that food, so he dies. Could happen, could happen. Actually seeing some really I don't like these walls from GA right now. They're fine against the early feudal age aggression, but like, look at that wall over here. Yeah, as Vodka is pointing out, same amount of wood investment, same amount of time investment to get the wall up. But you also secure stone and berries, and that could have opened the path for like a second potential TC. Villagers, they do be running.
There's no military wing, no camel riders or desert raiders to counteract the couple units that popped out from SoldieR. So berries have been denied. Sheep are there to fall back upon, but that is the only food, and he's got back gold, back food, and a wood line that is safe for the time being. So a nice protected base, but as the game extends, he is going to have to break out of this little wall, and he did.
Yeah, he's getting some archers out right now, and SoldieR, unlike last game, isn't opening up with archers, but this time we'll see some horsemen here coming out from him. So it's immediately going to have an answer to that. 2 horsemen already out in the field, but GA, he's got a lot of villagers on wood right now, so could easily just drop either a stable of his own or his own barracks.
Couple of archers are already pulling out. Usually you just want to wait for that third to then push away the military wing unit. Says that's all you need to win the trades there. He spotted out the horsemen though, makes moving out with those archers that much more difficult.
Yeah. Definitely is going to be difficult for him. We see another building. Was that a blacksmith from GA? Oh, more stables and an archery range.
Stables and a range. And SoldieR is all in for this. And GUA did indeed drop a blacksmith, so maybe focusing on getting some sort of military upgrades.
This could get interesting considering where the House of Wisdom is. Imagine SoldieR just like going forward, build one outpost, build a ram, and just start sieging down the House of Wisdom.
It does have a lot of health, but you are right. I mean, it would put some pressure on, and if you hit that House of Wisdom early enough and hit it before Castle Age gets clicked, there is no Castle Age ever.
Yeah, I mean, he can't deny the gold, right? Gold being that far back in the base of GA. So what's the second best next thing? It's denying the A-trip just by taking down the House of Wisdom.
It's just archers still so far for GUA. Just archers, and more archers. There's the barracks, though. He has gone ahead, getting the barracks out to counter out the horseman mass that SoldieR has been producing.
Yeah, it's just... I mean, what can the horsemen really do? They can't dive the TC. They don't have blacksmith upgrades. Right now, there's really no reason for GiveUA to respect the horseman. So it's fine for him to only get the spearman out at this point in the game. He's getting all the upgrades in. Granted, SoldieR already has a lot of the upgrades in as well. Wheelbarrow, horticulture, double broadaxe. Both players looking relatively even on eco. GiveUA, though, with those bonus 3 villagers. I mean, those have already gathered a lot of additional resource at this point in time.
Yes, they have, and SoldieR going out for that massive wall again, just like he did the previous games. I feel like this is almost like we did for GiveUA, where he could connect the wood line and then wall in front of the gold and have a giant space behind him with deer and extra golds for the long term, but to each his own. That's just us being a little bit picky. SoldieR is too focused right now on just keeping up the aggression. I'm still confused about the just all horsemen. It's so hard to actually have those horsemen be useful when we've seen a base like this from GiveUA.
It's interesting. SoldieR so far, he's only shown his horsemen. He hasn't shown his camel archers. And that's where it can start getting tricky. If there's enough camel archers to just one-shot the spearmen, the horsemen go unpunished, but there we go. Camel archer gets spotted out. So now GiveUA knows that he just needs to pump out more. Whatever it is, just needs to get out more.
Oh, and the sheep looks like they're starting to run a little bit low, so GiveUA is going ahead, expanding that wall out like we wanted him to have originally, and that way this will allow him to secure his next safe food resource.
Yeah, it's also a bigger berry patch, so that's going to be a lot of food. 400 food on every single one of those berry patches. GiveUA, right now, I mean, his economy is mostly focused on wood and a little bit for upgrades. So it makes sense right now that he's a good bit behind in food income. Because right now he just wants to pump out as many archers as possible. We are actually now seeing a stable being dropped as well. SoldieR doesn't have any additional spearmen out, only the first 2 that he got with the military wing. Oh, villager! I know what he wants to do. He wants to finish something from the wall on the other side. So they do that. They do that, where they just run onto the other side of the wall. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, and we see some double walls from GiveUA.
Oh, the outpost
Archers are going to circle on around. I do not think the outpost is needed. I would agree there, but the military circles, this is where the archer mass, he can just get a few shots in and force SoldieR on away.
I guess at least with the outpost, he doesn't need to keep his army there. Might just be able to discourage the attack on the wall just with the villagers. But if there's mass horsemen, one outpost isn't really gonna like make them go away. Mill
Going back to burning a mill again.
Oh, military jumps inside. 9 camel archers out.
Yeah, I mean, that's where, again, the SoldieR, he has high value as far as his military goes. The camel archers are so strong at sniping out spears. It also deters GiveUA from really wanting to mass up that many horsemen because they have the camel debuff, and the few spears, while they may not be great, they have high base damage with the camel archers and can still trade somewhat effectively. But walls are just still proving to be effective enough at not allowing those horsemen to do anything.
The one thing that I'm really worried about is SoldieR getting so many camel archers out, getting to the point where they can take really good fights even against archers, because they have a lot of health. How much health do they have? Like 180? 140.
And the forward outpost being dropped, it looks like GiveUA wants to finish. It needs this berries or needs the middle vision and has chosen to do so, but instead, does he even lose? Lost one villager?
One villager, and I think there was some idle time as well, because right now SoldieR is only 1 villager behind.
I'm shocked he only lost 1 villager building that outpost, as that just shows you how the horseman pathing and attacking can be at times.
Yeah, I mean, I say it every now and then. Like, I think horsemen just, you know, not that good. But it looks like SoldieR is once again first one to age up now to the next age. Has almost enough resource. Culture Wing is coming through. GiveUA, he's getting really close when it comes to the food. Gold is the only thing lacking right now, and he isn't gathering any as well. Oh, this could be huge, though. He's surrounding. He's surrounding. This is going to be a forced fight, potentially. Right as SoldieR clicked up.
We talked about it last game in the same matchup. when SoldieR went up, we said this is when you need to fall back, but the fight is happening. Engage going on. Camel archers trying to do the best they can to snipe out as many of the spears as possible. And it looks like the horsemen just left them out to dry. Said, all right, I'll pick off some of these reinforcing units and then run on home because this is a losing fight to take.
He takes down a good bunch of units, but losing this many camel archers, 6 so far, now 7, 8. Oh, that hurts a lot. That hurts a lot. These camel archers, they're so expensive.
Yeah, and it almost kind of feels like the same timing where SoldieR goes up to castle. This time he didn't fall back with his army as he should have, and GiveUA can just head towards his base, stop producing military now, and go up to castle behind this while still getting a lot of damage, most likely.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Like, GiveUA needs to, like, mass rally villagers over to gold right now because he still doesn't have any villagers in gold. He's getting 0 gold per minute right now. And Culture Wing is about to come in, and once it does, there aren't any units out right now from GA that could deal with Ghulams. How many barracks do we have? We got 1 barracks here. Yep, only 1 barracks. Oh.
Whoops.
Oh, no.
And berries are going to be denied. Deer are going to be denied.
Yeah, those villagers have to go on a walk now.
And SoldieR, hopefully he still has his OG berries next to his town center. If not, he is... oh, no! It just ran out!
He still has the deer on the far-hand side. I think that's going to have to be the resource that he's going for. My main issue is he's now going for mass lancers. It's not so good when you see how many spearmen GiveUA has. There are some Ghulams as well, but I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Lancer play was almost like what we saw with the barracks reaction, where he was like, "Oh crap, I only have 1 barracks. I can't build a ton of Ghulams because I don't have the production to be able to have any pop out."
Ooh, some villagers getting sniped. GA finally puts a lot of villagers over on gold. We see a lot of gold coming in for him right now. It's like 10 villagers.
SoldieR's done a good job with this whole small mass of picking off some of the reinforcing units here and there, whether it's spears, whether it's archers, horsemen, whatever it may be. So that has given him a little bit of a breathing room. And same thing, sending these lancers out and cleans up a little bit of this archer group that's split off.
Yeah, not enough spears remaining there. We see the spears right now fighting against the Ghulams.
They're so tanky.
Yeah, there's not even boot camp in right now. SoldieR, he didn't get boot camp. Why? He has the gold for it. No excuses, SoldieR.
I think the reason he didn't get boot camp was mainly just because of his composition in feudal age. Was horseman camel archer. So like you're not really buffing anything up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's SoldieR. I was about to say, oh well, that makes perfect sense. Take the deer from GiveUA's side. This is awesome.
Yeah, GiveUA is never gonna look at those.
The dervishes are on the way. I'm not sure if that's chopped all the way through, but I think he's just going to run past the House of Wisdom and dive the woodline.
Yeah, I could definitely go for that. GA right now, he does have more military out on field, but SoldieR, he's making mangonels.
Quick reaction from GiveUA. You already have some, actually it's one unit inside the TC, but it does take out the camel archer.
Hey, if it's enough, it's enough. But yeah, dervishes are going to be coming out, and right now I don't think SoldieR really has enough. We do see the lances, though, causing idle time on the deer villagers. Wheelbarrow and textile not through yet, but is coming in now. Yeah,
GiveUA is struggling on food.
He is. He definitely needs those villagers working again.
Because he ate all those berries. He has the berries that Vodka just highlighted, but other than that, it's the deer, and SoldieR's actually taking his other set of deer. So after this set of deer that he is on and the other berries that he can get in the back, that's everything. He's going to have to make a farm transition.
Yeah, I mean, there's a boar there, but boar is haram, so can't really go for that. We see some farms instead coming out for GiveUA. Early farm transition with the IU bits.
And I think this is necessary.
At least having a couple is good.
That's one of the things I will actually advocate for. Just having a couple here or there really is going to allow him to deplete these deer even less. Imagine 7 or 8 more villagers over on the deer. He'd be out to dry in, a minute or two. Compared to now, he can rely on the deer a little bit longer. He'll deplete the berries a little bit, less quick. And now that will give him more time to squeak in some more farms and have a bigger food transition as well.
I mean, army-wise, okay, we got the 3 dervishes right now. Have to make sure that they survive. The crazy thing is, the 3 dervishes, once you activate the AoE healing from all 3, there's some crazy throughput going on when it comes to healing in these fights. So it actually matters a lot in these fights, having those dervishes alive and just healing with the AoE heal.
Spears are chasing that cavalry mass, escorting the dervish to secure that first relic. Meanwhile, the infantry mass is, for soldiers, escorting a mangonel towards the front line of GUA. Circling back around.
A Springle, but the spearmen have to watch out.
Veteran upgrade just comes through. Lancers are trying to make sure to deny that dervish.
This is going to be difficult. That's a lot of Lancers.
GUA has been slowly bleeding some of these spears out, though, with the Ghulams just barely able to connect here and there. It does end up adding up.
It's the rest of the army from GUA. He needs it up here right now. He needs to have something to deal with that. Single Lancer.
Oh, the invisible Lancer raid. These always feel bad when you have so much stuff going on. Spears turn around. GUA is starting to have to deal with a lot of different pings all over the map. Deer villagers running forward. Still hasn't reacted to the Lancer raid yet. Had to pull the villagers off of the berries as well due to the other horseman Lancers. So food economy about to start struggling again for GUA other than the farms.
Archers, though, picking off some camel riders that have been made. Springles out as well, making that mangonel fall back.
Oh my god.
Lancer!
This is the MVP Lancer. Wololo comes in from that dervish. Look at that spear mass. Oh, no! Oh, no! Delete him! Delete him!
Oh, 3! He gets 3. 3 more than he should have, but he gets them. All right, okay.
I mean that makes up a little bit for this invisible Lancer raid that we've seen.
A little bit, yeah, but it still hurts. He noticed, he finally noticed. Oh, but he lost a lot there. Granted, though, at the end of it all, they're even villager-wise. He lost 11 villagers, but I guess through some idle time, and also through the economic growth, it's even, and the Wololo.
Yeah, the one thing I'm a little bit concerned for is it just feels like GUA's army composition is still
where soldiers getting gold from.
Somewhat feudally based. Oh, soldier! All right, depleting the resources on your opponent's side of the map. I mean, GUA has been essentially stuck in the southern side, hasn't really been able to move out. And when he does, it's over towards Soldier, not up to the north. And so by the time he goes to that gold vein, I think Soldier's going to have it mined out.
They're brothers, of course. They share everything. Oh, man. But this is still tough, though, right? I think GUA, slowly but surely, he's getting an army out that's just flat out better than what Soldier has at the moment. Like, you get the mass archers, you get the mass crossbows as well. Finally, Springles are in there. And Springles are actually super good right now when it comes to dealing with the backline. Ever since they got, like, the attack speed upgrade, you get 3 Springles out, you're able to one-shot crossbows and archers.
Composite bows coming into play for Soldier. A good little circle raid, making GUA all infantry army. So it's going to be very, very slow. He's going to need more of these
villagers.
Does he know the villagers are there?
He knows. I think he knows. I think we just saw through Fog of War. He knows about the mining camp. He's walling in the villagers. Oh, this could be huge.
He has another relic. He can do a puppy paw wall in Wololo.
I think that's exactly what he's doing right now. He's just waiting for it. Oh my god. Allow me trade to the front line.
Here it is.
He's going for it.
Oh, do the double Wololo play where you Wololo somewhere else as well. Yeah, he did it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Oh, he notices though.
Oh, quick enough reaction time.
Oh no.
But he can keep doing this, and I mean, obviously he can just go kill all these vills, but I think converting them is a little more satisfying. Main engagement going down in the middle. GUA's got a good amount of spears, good amount of ranged mass in the backside, but has to watch out for the Mangonel as the Springles aren't here to push it back.
Yeah, I mean, has the relic there, could go for the advanced AoE healing now, but has to be so careful. Relic might go down.
Raid coming in onto the wood line, onto the berry patch, but will be cleaned up. GiveUA falling back from the main fight as he definitely lost that engagement without having the Springles there.
And Mangonels and Archers are slowly but surely creeping up on him.
Oh my god! It backfired!
Oh no! It backfired! Yeah! No!
Wait, drop that relic, go grab the other one and go for a wall on the keep.
They fixed that.
Oh. I forgot.
At least I'm quite sure they did. I'm quite sure they did.
I'm not sure. I think I might have seen it happening in the game yesterday.
Oh man.
Maybe it was...
At least you can't put them inside buildings and take them out anymore, then convert with the same... Oh!
He's there just a little too late, jumps inside the keep, and all those spears now get denied.
Ah, it's a rough one right now. He's gonna need Rams if he wants to go for it, but probably not something that he can afford to make right now because he needs his army at the front side, you know, to deal with what SoldieR has. On paper, he has more units, but right now, 0 gold per minute. He needs to get gold somewhere.
That just denied the berries as well. We were talking about, you know, him struggling on the food. He's made a pretty big farm transition, but it's still nice being able to throw some other vills to berries. I mean, that's not enough of a farm
How long
transition.
have you been idle? He's 8 villagers there.
I feel like Vodka highlighted those 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that hurts. It hurts so much. Same on SoldieR's side, though. He's also had idle villagers for a while now. Fight happening there. I'm not seeing enough crossbows, though. The 8 crossbows on GA's side, and these golems are tanky. They're dishing a lot of damage out on the front line before they go down.
You also can't forget these are composite bow archers on SoldieR's side, so they are much, much stronger compared to GiveUA's archers. Another raid going in, though.
Not bad fight. Yeah, the raid, but there's no villagers on that wood line anymore.
There's a gold, though, if he sees it, to the north.
Oh, he's got to find it. He's got to spot it out. And there he goes. Jay pulls the villagers immediately, but definitely going to lose some here. A lot of these actually were already weakened up, so some relatively easy kills coming in for him.
And that's where, I mean, SoldieR's essentially fully denied GiveUA of gold at this point. Like, there's nowhere to get it other than the relic.
Look at the villagers. What are you doing? Like, at some point, GA, he has to press the hotkey for idle villager to find where they are. This is depressing right now.
And SoldieR somehow, some way, has 3 relic. Well, 2 and bringing a 3rd back. When GiveUA, I felt like, had like 4 at one point. Another Wololo attempt.
Almost.
We're just gonna laugh that one off. One of these days he'll realize that he has 9 villagers idled. It does say they're idled. This isn't like a bug that it's you know, like we used to have happen at times where it was like, oh no, they just can't grab the sheep. It's like, no, they're actually idled. He just hasn't reacted to it. And villagers, again, bad pathing after walling, get all taken out by those composite bow archers. Look at the villager kill difference, 29-4, and it is about to get a lot worse as those archers are stepping up into some of those farms.
Yeah, composite bow archers just dishing out the DPS so quickly there. And they're not stopping. They're running through. They're all in it for villager kills right now. Already having killed so many villagers, they're just going in for more. There we go.
And this
focus firing comes in.
This is 100% worth it, as now, I mean, SoldieR knows how much damage he's already caused, how much damage this is going to continue to cause. Army for GiveUA has to pull on back. And during this time, SoldieR's eco's untouched. He has 3,000 gold in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, having those 15 villagers there in the corner of GA space getting all the gold definitely paid off. And now first sector site has been captured, second one's about to be captured. And it's kind of crazy as well how SoldieR actually has the majority of the relics, considering GA went for the relic, like for the Dervish wing, and still the idle villagers.
Yep, another keep going up to deny the next gold. So
oh, he notices. He finally noticed the villagers.
Oh yes, villager. Oh well, there's still 2, but is he rallying the TC over there? Is that what's happening?
I don't think so. I think it's literally just him not pressing the hotkey. Like, he looks on the map where idle villagers are, but he isn't looking at the interface because like we see it on the interface, so I'm quite sure he must see it on the interface as well.
GiveUA, though, he's got a bigger army now than SoldieR, so can he reverse some of this damage? I say doubtful because of the army composition. It's a lot infantry based, and we've seen SoldieR investing into keeps throughout this map as GiveUA just walks up and spots one and runs on into it.
Oh, military has to be careful. Not sure where they're walking off to right now. Manuel gets spotted. Frontline from GA. I mean, there aren't really any crossbows on SoldieR side, so I'm a little bit wondering why GA isn't just making... Okay, he is making golems right now. Definitely needs them as a tanky frontline. But he doesn't have anything against that tanky frontline himself. Not a lot of crossbows in his army right now. A lot of them actually just went down.
Yeah, and just like as I say, GiveUA had a military lead. SoldieR is now doubling his military count, has more of an eco, and this is maybe the beginning of the end for GiveUA as eco about to get denied yet again. His gold that he has reclaimed should not be being gathered for long.
Yeah, that one is definitely going to get spotted out. Now more villagers are going down. 44 villager kills here so far, and now SoldieR is flooding into the base of GiveUA. Some of the archers, though, in the backline. Actually, most of the archers, a little bit stuck hitting that building instead of the units. 3 archers taking down all the villagers on the gold mine. Mangonel moving forward into the base. Desperation Wallow comes out.
Wallow attempting. Not going to come to fruition. A keep or a trebuchet comes out to, I guess, try to deal with one of these keeps or so. But I mean, it is just too little too late. And after the remake, SoldieR is able to tie up the series and bring us to a game number 3.
All right. I mean, this was a kind of a crazy back and forth in between. Some amazing villager pickoffs on SoldieR's side. It's kind of crazy when you look at it and see how many villagers SoldieR has killed. Considering both were only on 1 TC, there must have definitely been some idle time on SoldieR's side as well, because I feel like he should have been ahead way more villagers here at some point. Looking at the graph, looks like every now and then there were a couple of kills from GA as well. But I feel like there must have also been just a little bit of idle time in there as well. Like, there were so many villagers down, and at some point he killed like 60, but he was only 20 villagers ahead. Yeah. Military count back and forth the entire time, yeah.
Yeah, GiveUA had a big gap for a while, though. He just never was able to do anything with it. SoldieR really had the map control, was every single time it felt like GiveUA wanted to press towards his base, there was something else that went on, whether it was early on having the horsemen and the camel archers kill all the reinforcing units, or later on we had quite the excitement with those villagers gathering the gold and the attempted Wololo as well.
Yeah, exactly. But now, next game is going to be happening. It's going to be a match point, decider match between these two. Oh, and we're going to be seeing French versus Mongols on Dry Arabia, a classic matchup.
This is definitely a throwback matchup, to say the least. The good thing for GiveUA is he has played against the Tower Rush a million times at this point. The Tower Rush isn't what it used to be years ago with how many nerfs it has seen. It's still something that you got to respect and you have to react to correctly.
Exactly. All right. I'm definitely all for this one. Granted, like, looking at the stats, or well, not stats. I'm looking at talking about like what I think the stats are right now, what I heard from other players, what I see myself whenever I see the matchup. This should be favored for the Mongols overall. But I think a lot of it also is going to have to do with how the markets potentially spawn on this one. We've seen iterations of Dry Arabia where the market spawns like literally right next to your TC in the middle of the map. Then Mongols are going to feel a little bit lackluster because they can't go into like the trade boom after their probably successful Tower Rush where they deny the gold for a little bit. Definitely going to be something that we'll have to look out for here.
Yeah, that is for sure. And it looks like we can already see the timer start, and these brothers are ready to get back into it. And I'm happy about the civ choices, as again, we're probably going to see a lot of military, a lot of back and forth, some raiding, as both of these civs love to utilize that cavalry in feudal age.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely going to be a cavalry heavy game here coming out from both players. The question is going to be, though, like immediately at the beginning, we're going to have the Tower Rush, right? So gold is likely getting denied for the French early on. How's GA going to react to that? I'm wondering. Is it just going to be immediately archer range and then you just try to secure another gold vein somewhere else? Or is he actually going to like pull villagers, try to burn down the outpost at some point in time? Be tough to say. Gonna be tough to say. Like, you really have to minimize your losses, like your idle time as well, when dealing with those outposts. You definitely can't let it influence your game too long. But enough of that, I can already hear some in-game sounds, so shouldn't be much longer until we're getting into our game number 3 between them, our decider game. And indeed, here we go. Starting off, we see SoldieR in the color teal once again, playing as the Mongols. TC spot here right next to the gold and the wood line. He's gonna have to look out for his stone, though. Yeah, the stone is really far away. The other stone is actually much closer.
He doesn't see it, though, is the problem. Already sends the villager on out, and man, he's sending a... Oh, he sees the very edge of it. No!
I gotta say, though, but at the end of the day, he has deer right... Oh, no, he doesn't see the deer. I was gonna say, if he sees the deer next to it, he could just hit the deer with the villager and, yeah, gather food from it, so there's some idle time on the villager. There's the berries, though. He's gonna gather from the berries. Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Just has to wait until he gets enough wood collected for that first barracks.
GiveUA already heavier onto the gold earlier on. 3 villagers sitting there, and so even when the tower rush comes, if he gets the knight off of gold, won't be too big of a deal. Sometimes you'll see French gather enough gold for 1 knight as well. Not sure if that's GiveUA's plan or not here, but it's one, again, he's got a plan to react to the tower rush. He knows it's coming. It's got to come. He actually has a scout circling around, and right as the barrack starts being built, he's going to be spotting it out.
Yeah, all right. So, I love the curve right now of the scouting. He immediately tried to find the uwu. it's just wrong. Wait, did GiveUA not see the uwu? I don't see it.
I think this is one of the observe bugs that he can see it.
Yeah, I think he must have seen it.
Yeah,
he saw it. Yeah, okay. So knows about the outpost rush that is going to be happening here. We'll definitely know that that's going to be coming. Let's see, GiveUA, he didn't make... Oh, it was clever. He immediately already gathered up the gold that he needed and immediately deleted the mining camp.
Yeah, so even when it comes, it's like he's like, all right, fine, take it. And that's a really early delete. I feel like usually you want to like scout and at least force your opponent to do this, but it's happening either way. The villager's already walking across. Look at the backup golds for GiveUA, though. They're like the majority of the gold is kind of in front of where that original gold vein is, like almost all the golds on the map. There is another one next to the sacred site, as Vodka pointed, to the east of his base, but not the most convenient.
Yeah, for sure. Is immediately going to be going heavily onto wood like that plays, so very likely we will be seeing a archery range as soon as the age up comes in. Lots of spearmen on their way right now, accompanied by that villager. So
actually, I'm actually going to compound this even further. The outpost, it's going to give him vision of not only all the gold, all the food for GiveUA is down there too. Both
yeah, this is rough.
2 sets of berries. Like, this is the point where sometimes you'll see like, oh, Mongols gets their 1 outpost up and they go home. I would not be against SoldieR dropping multiple outposts in this location, you know, behind where the gold is as well, to just then deny up the next set of deer in the next gold vein.
We're getting 7 sheep, though. 7 additional sheep here right now for GiveUA. So he's going to have some food left under his TC at least for a good while. They're almost at 2,000 food from these sheep alone. Could definitely be able to find like the timing to break out of his base.
Yeah, I remember, obviously French, they have School of Cavalry right off the bat. I remember a reaction that some people would do would actually be a couple scouts out of the School of Cavalry, and then you can either, you know, go pro scouts later on or just go utilize that vision with your knight raiding parties. But that is where archery range is the first initial reaction, and a horseman's in queue for GiveUA.
Yeah, so just getting the mass out right now. He knows where the uwu is. He knows where... Oh.
GG's in the chat.
GG's
in the chat.
And potentially a free sheep, if it gets converted.
Just need to highlight that and drag that back a little bit. Silver Tree is on the way up. Looking at the market locations, it's pretty solid market location as far as where it's going to be, as he can move that Silver Tree over to the bottom south corner and get a very, very nice, long, and efficient path.
Oh, but GA, he's doing the smart thing, right? Like he's immediately moving his army, not in order to like keep it in space and try to move out at some point against the outpost. No, he's moving out, but in the direction of the Uvu.
Okay. There we go. So Archer's starting to run on across the map. Silver Tree's about halfway up. What is the villager from Soldier going to do, though?
He's waiting for the next assignment.
He's got another 100 wood. Is it gonna? Oh, he's building something next. Is it a double outpost?
It is a double outpost. There's nothing else really that he can build there other than a gur. That's not a gur, is it? It's an outpost. Okay.
There we go. Now we can see first. You kind of had me questioning it. Okay. Right. So the archer does push those spears back. Soldier's not going to be able to get the stables that you typically see in reaction down neck on his Uvu, but he can easily just drop it next to his town center. I feel like I would have rather seen a stables instead of that outpost that he's building because it's a little bit more important, especially as far as the timing goes. And
you see an Uvu getting burnt down. I see an opportunity to transition over to the stone with the Uvu that's closer to him.
It's all about the way you look at it.
One door closes, another door opens.
Moving out onto the deer, though. He is dropping the stables that he needs next to his town center. No double produced Keshiks, though. It will just be a normal Keshik.
The question is Keshik even the right choice? I mean, Keshik definitely works against everything that GA has out right now.
Is he moving his silver tree to the north side and he's just gonna...
He is. I guess he knows that he probably can't like get the trade this way around just because there's the units in the way. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like, you gotta trade one way or another, and I think... Sure, it's not gonna be as optimal. There are more small wood lines that kind of create more of like a natural kind of wall there.
Double arrow slits going on to both of the outposts on the wood line, and honestly, Soldier has multiple win conditions that he can do right now. One of those that I would say is not to move 2 villagers into your opponent's side of the map for no reason at all.
Yeah, no wheelbarrow as well, and wait, there's a third villager from earlier. Oh no,
that was the one that was. Sorry, don't circle your. Now you just alerted him to the secret villager now too.
He knows. He knows. Oh my god. The archer hasn't found the third villager at least, but these 2 villagers definitely gonna go down, and that's gonna hurt. That really hurts. I'm not sure what Soldier was thinking there, without any military reinforcement sending those villagers out at a point in time where GA had absolute map control.
They had food in their hands too, so they clearly were some of those deer villagers, and who knows how much food they had, but it could have been a significant amount. And this is where I wanted the second outpost was behind the gold and onto the next food location, not an inch away. That's not really denying anything extra.
This hurts right now. I mean, looking at the army value, 2 Keshiks out, a couple of spears, but GA added in his own spearmen now. So he definitely has what it takes in order to defend against this push coming in from Soldier. With the archers as well. Keshik gets scouted out.
Outpost goes up. This kind of secures up this gold and the deer location as well. Soldier can, constantly harass and most likely cause some idle time here if he had the military numbers, but it's going to be hard to outmass your opponent when you just lost a couple vills for nothing.
Yeah, and he also hasn't rebuilt the Uvu behind that GA. I mean, time's ticking, right? Like, he's getting the not free villagers, but like the faster villager production. So without any like real investment, slowly but surely he's gonna like get ahead in villagers. He already is 6 villagers ahead, just gonna get more and more.
There's the Uvu rebuild, the opportunity Uvu, I guess I should say, since he let the other one go down on purpose.
100%. But yeah, definitely, like, it feels like you really need the double production from the Mongols in Feudal Age. On the Keshiks especially, like, getting double Keshiks out just feels so much more valuable than anything else.
Wheelbarrow on the way for Soldier. Better late than never, as those villagers would have appreciated it earlier before making their trek across the map and dying at the hands of horsemen. And I actually like this by GUA, just another outpost. Like I said, if Soldier did have the ability to outmass GUA, he could just continue to cause more and more idle time, but this extra outpost will help give vision and help just deter any sort of diving away from SoldieR.
I take back anything good that I said about that market. These traders, they're only getting 45 gold right now. If the market was on the other side, that should be at least like 70.
Yeah, if not even more than that. So, again, it definitely was a huge feels bad. I think the biggest pain point for me is just where that second outpost was. It either should have been a stables earlier on to deny the Uvu from getting burnt that early, or it should have been in between where the other gold is and onto the deer.
Yeah, and looking at the economy, I mean, it's still relatively similar, but when you look at what's out on the map right now, 27 units compared to 14. Sure, SoldieR has Keshix, but there's Spearmen from GiveUA, and Keshix don't have as much health as normal knights. And there we go. Scout spots out the trade and spots out the villagers on the deer as well.
Yeah, and that's all GiveUA really needed to give himself an even bigger leg up in this game. He knows exactly what he has to stop now. Trade on the east side and some villagers that are way too vulnerable out on the deer. He had his own raid to worry about, moved his villagers over, and no real damage able to get done.
It feels bad when, like, your Khan hits a building and alerts your enemy prematurely to your units, like, being there to your little raid, because that's what happened there. Khan hit a building. Oh. Line of sight. Khan moving in. Oh, has to be careful there. Probably needs to pop the movement speed arrow there. Don't kind of, like, you can't afford to lose these Keshix right now.
Not at all. And the really hard part for SoldieR here now is he's just starting to produce his archers to deny the spear from the other side. But GiveUA's been on this 1-1-1 composition for a while, so it just feels like he's always going to be behind in numbers.
Exactly. Keshix even getting chased down now by these horsemen. Oh, reinforcement. Rise, but as you said, not enough archers there, if any at all. And the trade is definitely going to get denied now for good time, from looks of it. Khan also getting taken down. A little bit of a Bluetooth hit there.
A couple of the traders starting to fall as well. This is where SoldieR, he feels like he has to take this fight, and he cannot take this fight. Archers sniping down the spears, sniping down a few of the other archers that were reinforcing, and once those are down, that's Soldier's only line of defense.
Yeah. It is so difficult for him right now. It feels like he just wasn't able to mass up a big enough army. Maybe the investments were just at the wrong place. The second outpost there on that wood line feels like it didn't achieve anything at all this game. I think there's still 4 spearmen inside of it, actually. I might have taken them out at some point. Yeah, they're taken out, but the army on the field, that's the most important thing. And GiveUA definitely hasn't beat their trade. Gets denied 8 traders, 9 traders. Not 9 traders, there were 2 villagers that have been taken down earlier, but like 7 traders that have gone down now. That definitely hurts a lot. And not enough archers on the field. And now GiveUA with access on gold is getting the knights out.
Yep, back to knight production, back to exactly where French wants to be, which is that raiding annoying party. Takes down a villager over onto those deer. Those 2 outposts that were on the deer should just get burnt down, as GiveUA has way too many numbers here to deal with. But Keshix are fighting a knight.
By the knights, yeah, getting bumped by a knight. Spearman arriving too. Looks like there's some more units right now, causing some idle time on the gold villagers. They could find the deer villagers, where GiveUA is on right now. But still, I don't think that any kind of damage that he's doing right now is going to be enough in order to bridge this gap of military force.
And he actually moves the deer villagers down to the southern wood line just to save them from the time being. No reason why SoldieR should go check them down there. He definitely does need some food, as his food per minute has plummeted. He has just those berries next to his original TC as far as where he's gathering food from.
And now he has to run, right? Because once the army from GiveUA surrounds his army, they're definitely going to go down. And GiveUA is going to return over to the deer now. Only glimpse of the villagers getting spotted, but can't go back for that. Not with the army chasing.
Not by any means. So food has been resecured, at least for the time being. Still nothing to deal with those 2 initial outposts, but can still just walk around them and go to the next berry patch if needed.
Infantry force. A little bit too much distance there to the main army. SoldieR, slowly but surely, is getting a rise in military population. Managed to catch up in the archer count. So there's a good amount of Kashix. Kashix that might actually find some damage here right now. GA, though, reacts in time. No Khan there. It means that he doesn't know about the outpost.
Oh, no. This is just one of those. It just shows you how important vision is. If he had the Khan with him, he sees 15 villagers. And more importantly, he sees how bad GiveUA's struggling on food.
Yeah, but now GA once again has access to the deer. Oh, fight potentially here at the front side, though. The army from SoldieR is still in the base of GA. This could be a fight, though, that GA might not want to take. Let's see if he still does it.
Looks like he is stepping up to take it.
Khan there as well. No, there we go. Attack speed arrow. No, that's
barely is able to get it. Oh, movement speed arrow, but a couple of the horsemen circle around. They're on the backside of the archers, so this means SoldieR has to micro the archers nonstop. If the A moves, they're hitting horsemen, and he is taking bad trades that he doesn't want to be taking.
Kashix are coming back from the back line. At the same time, though, GA, I think he killed villager. Oh my god!
Oh, massive, massive villager cleanup. He will have his archers and his army cleaned on up, but his eco is starting to get out of hand. GiveUA looking pretty solid, still roaming around with knights, still roaming around with a few horsemen. Is he about to send 20 villagers on the board?
I mean, well, he needs it. He needs the food. Only 8 can gather, but yeah, that's not going to work out. Maybe he wants to wall in the
wall in the market.
The symmetry, yeah. Oh, second TC now coming out.
This could be an opportunity for SoldieR to kind of get back into it, especially after winning a pretty big fight. GiveUA's main focus now is to remass back up, don't take this damage, but more importantly, get onto food, because food is his problem. But SoldieR's having the same similar food problem.
Yeah, we see a couple of farms that have come out now for GA. Outpost here. Should be able to buy him enough time. Didn't actually manage to kill a villager there. Hopped inside the outpost just in time.
That's absurd. One Kashik does end up falling. Those archers that were in the base that we thought were going to get full cleaned up ended up circling all the way back around.
This is still enough Kashiks to probably win this fight against both the knights and the archers. It's not something that you want to take right now. And look at that. Yeah, takes the boar, gets a lumber camp out there, and now gathering wood from that position as well.
He's just got his eco spread throughout everywhere. He's like, all right, just in case you're raiding the north, I'm going to be on the south. If you're raiding the south, I'm going to be on the north, the west, the east. I'm everywhere.
SoldieR, he's got 700 stone right now in the bank. He could double produce a lot of Kashiks. Like getting 3 Kashiks double produced out gets you up to 16 Kashiks. That's a pretty big force. It's just going to be the spearmen still.
Moving back out to those back berries. Knights are still circling, and GiveUA's knight number, though, it's climbed up. It's basically even with the Kashik number, and GiveUA has some other things to show for himself, some horsemen, some spears, some archers, and has slowly started to make a farm transition, which food, again, has been his problem this whole game, I feel like.
I looked at the wood count climbing for SoldieR. He's going for the 3rd TC.
Oh my gosh, okay. All right.
He wants to catch up. I don't think he can. He lost 4 more Kashiks there. GA is just non-stop pumping out knights and archers right now. Still has 16 spearmen as well. SoldieR doesn't have any spears out right now.
I would have rather, instead the extra TC, I would have rather seen 4 pastures. And that way you have safe food eco and you can just mass up. But, you know, to each his own. Giving himself some time, SoldieR will end up having an eco lead if he can protect the villagers that he's making.
Every single TC is 7 villagers that are going to be safe while the rest of his base dies.
If that's the way you want to look at it, but he's actually only down 17 military units. He's trying to make some more Kashiks. He's got archers just staying under his TCs. So this is where, like, GiveUA, if he has to all in if he's fighting. And while this is still happening, we have Kashiks roaming the map and doing some raiding. So SoldieR is actually giving himself a little bit of time as GiveUA's army. Look at where it's going. It's pulling back.
How has SoldieR only killed his first villager just now? Oh, still, oh my god, the textiles. The textile was so worth it from GiveUA. He has so many low health villagers at this point in time. It's kind of crazy. Look at that. You got the Amora there as well from SoldieR with those 2 outposts.
But GiveUA had to respect this push though, and this is giving time for SoldieR.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more pastures come out.
That's what he needs right now. You can, I'm surprised he hasn't had a lot of idle time on those TCs and still been able to produce, but somehow he's making it work.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. He's slowly but surely catching up when it comes to the villager card. GiveUA, lots of food in the bank, but not enough gold in order to consider an age up right now.
Some more damage on villagers. No kill. Oh, another kill. There we go. There's a kill.
Number 2.
Keep him counting. He just doubled his bill kills this game.
You know what SoldieR's doing? He's just marking every single one of GiveUA's villagers. He looks at him. He's like, soon, I'll come back for you one day.
Just wait. This is a statement play. Did the villagers on the wood line move somewhere up at the north?
They did, but you know what didn't move? The villagers on the board. The villagers on the board. And at least 3 should go down there. Actually, there's 4 villagers remaining. Oh, 4 villagers that are going down, but at the same time, GiveUA said enough is enough, and he's going for the base. And at just the moment when SoldieR has finally, like, overtaken him when it comes to
the villager count.
Yeah, but actually, he's gotten 40 archers out. He's getting some spearmen out now. If those Keshiks come back in time, if SoldieR holds this, he wins the game.
Yeah. And I mean, if he just drops another 2 outposts too, that might actually be enough to help him hold this. Is he just needs room for the villagers to jump inside. He needs time for the Keshiks to come back, and there's another 2 outposts. That's exactly what he's doing.
All right, maybe it's doable. Maybe it's doable. The timing.
Villagers jump inside. Archers here to defend this. Knights, they don't want to take this. And look at that. Even still, Knight gets taken down to about a quarter health, falls back away. Trader distracts them for a little bit of time, and I think SoldieR's happy if his traders are the ones
aging up.
Focus.
GiveUA's aging up. He's looking for the age up. I mean, SoldieR right now, he has no gold access at all. If GiveUA's aging up without SoldieR like having any gold access at all, SoldieR might actually be fine. Like GiveUA might actually be fine here. Yeah, Royal Institute. Yeah, this is gonna be the all-in play.
He does have gold not too far away. Keshiks though hitting the wood line again. There should be some low health ones. Maybe 2 more picks. 2 more picks. There it is. We're up to 13 villager kills. It was right when you started talking about him getting his first. Now he's up to 14, and GiveUA has been taken down on the eco count. There's some, oh my gosh, there's so many villagers just primed for the taking on the berries, on the gold. SoldieR could like end GiveUA, it feels like.
I'm looking at how many hits the Keshiks need to take down a villager, and I'm devastated that SoldieR hasn't gotten the +1 melee damage upgrade yet, because there were so many weak villagers that would have all gone down if only SoldieR's Keshiks did +1 damage with every single hit.
GiveUA didn't all in the base though. Okay.
The all-in is coming. The all-in is going to be coming.
Minute and a half.
Bloodlines.
Minute and a half. Yep.
Yeah, that's the timer. Timer's ticking. He needs like, oh my god, he's almost pop cap. He's selling? Is he selling resources too?
I think so. I mean, if I'm him, I sell wood right now and I just go up.
Yeah, but his market just got destroyed, right? Like the silver tree, I think it got destroyed.
Oh, it did. All right, he has enough to go up though.
Yeah, he must have another market somewhere. I don't see any villagers from him on gold. So that has to be Kurultai now. Kurultai inside his base. Oh,
no! Weird GiveUA, stop! You need Royal Bloodlines. You need your veteran upgrade. He didn't even have veteran knights at that point.
And now Kurultai is coming up. Dude, is SoldieR doing it? The 3 TC.
I think SoldieR might be doing. He's up 30 vills right now.
The late 3 TC. He's almost pop cap. He's almost pop cap. What?
He's got another. He's got enough for 2 more TCs if he wants.
Gold. Never mind,
that was his original gold.
I didn't see that one. There was so much stuff happening on the minimap. I just didn't see that gold.
He's got enough for he needs to drop 5 more pastures at this point.
Yeah.
He's got 1,800. You might have 10 at this point. I don't even care. Just stabilize your eco. You know Royal Bloodlines is about to come. The huge benefit for SoldieR is he took down a lot of the Knights before Royal Bloodlines came through, or I guess took the fight.
Upgrades. Where are the
What are
upgrades?
those
I don't see
villagers
anything
doing?
in queue. Where are the upgrades? There we go. Upgrades are
Look
getting
at where
queued.
he's
Now
going
needs-
for gold. He, for some reason, he's not going to close golds. He's like, oh, I'm going to sneak this gold. And there's a...
It's not so sneaky. Oh, that's a lot of outposts, though.
Okay, maybe that'll do it.
It's a lot of villagers. Oh, this is going to be super rough. This is going to be super, super rough now. He sees the army.
Keshix?
Royal Bloodlines is in. Oh, you need to run. SoldieR, you need to run. Run right now. We got the curl tie. Upgrades are coming in. That's only for the Keshix. The rest of the military needs to run. He still needs to run.
He just needs to wait to take this fight.
But he can't wait for too long. The curl time might get focused down, and then he's going to die either way. I think
he's under the
find the timing.
Jumps inside the TCs. He's just GiveUA's diving. He's taking the fight. He says enough is enough. There's only 8 spears here for SoldieR. He wasn't making spears. It was archers and Keshix. No crossbows out either. He just now makes a ton more spears in production. TC gets burnt in a blink of an eye. GiveUA heavily favoring the military numbers.
No curl tie nearby. No curl tie buff on all of these archers. We only have 1 outpost with an emplacement there. Main TC, but it's not going to be enough. GiveUA with the Knights, with the veterans, the Royal Bloodlines. Is it enough? And it looks like it is enough.
No more Keshix, no
army
more
from SoldieR.
It is all GiveUA's game. It looked so good for SoldieR for a little bit of a time. It looked like he made the right moves, but just not enough to hold Royal Bloodlines Knights. Spring on emplacements coming in. Can he hold? Will he have enough? Royal Bloodline Knight number is starting to thin out just a bit. Archers are trying to kite back out. Is it going to be enough? Can SoldieR hold? Villager count is getting closer to even, but still SoldieR has a lead there.
SoldieR, yeah, it's a small lead that's still there. Meanwhile, TC has been shooting the entire time, but without +2 damage. These archers just aren't able to penetrate through the armor. GA now also getting Arbaletier and Men-at-Arms out. SoldieR, no more military in the queue.
Double spring on emplacements. He does drop a Siege Workshop. Maybe Mangonel's going to be the goal, but no. SoldieR says, I'm not going to be able to hold. I'm not going to be able to do it, but holy hell, was that a close one. I thought it was over minutes, 10, 15 minutes before that, but made it way too close.
Such an incredible set, man. I gotta say, like, this was super, super damn close. Man, oh man.
Oh. Wild series from the remake to the wild games there, and ending it off with just some excitement. Mongol French matchup.
Oh man, that was a really, really close one.